Hello, Vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So, today in this video, uh, this is regarding a K6 related video, and in fact, many of our subscribers have asked to add some videos on K6. So, today in this video, I will discuss about one of the key concept of K6 scripting. And before we move on to this video, this is me, Vasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to Little Sly YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give a thumbs up, a like, and share the video with your friends. And if you have any comments or feedbacks, please do add that in the comment section. And please do join our WhatsApp channel because we have lots of performance testing engineering experts who give you real-time advices and they can assist you. So please don't forget to join to our WhatsApp channel as well, and also consider joining to our WhatsApp channel so that I can create more and more quality content. And yeah, with no further delays, let's go to the video. So in this video, we're going to see about think time using sleep. So how are we going to use think time? So when should we use think time and when we should not use think time? So basically, think time is the amount of time that a script is passing. So this is in terms of your K6. So that's the time, the amount of time that the K6 script passes during the test execution to simulate delays between the transactions that real users have in the course of using an application. So that's why we use this sleep, which is the think time. So this is something we use for various reasons. So when should we use think time? So generally we use think time to accurately simulate the end user's behavior, which makes the load testing script more realistic. So to make the scripting or to make the load test more realistic, we use the think time. So if the realism would help us to achieve our test objective, so we can use the think time. And then what are all the things that we should consider while we are using think time? So basically, if the test follows a user flow, like for example, if they're accessing different parts of the application in a certain order, so at that scenario, we can use the think time. And if in scenarios we want to simulate the actions that take some time to carry out, like reading text on a page or filling out a form, yes, we can add a think time, we can add a sleep in those scenarios. And if in case where our load generator or the machine that we are running K6 from displays more than 80% of CPU utilization during test execution, yes, even in those scenarios, we can use the sleep as the think time. So what is the defect, or what I would say in terms of the dangers or the side effect is like, if we are removing or reducing the think time, it will increase how it will increase the amount of requests which are sent. So in turn, it increases the CPU utilization. So the lesser we have the think time, the more we have the number of hits. And in turn, it increases the CPU utilization. So when the CPU usage is too high, the load generator itself will struggle to send the requests back to us. So this could lead to inaccurate results such as false negatives. So adding think time is a way where you can reduce the high CPU usage, and this is because by reducing the high throughput. So the reason behind using the think time is, like I told you, to emulate the real-time scenario and to give the balanced amount, or even I would say to give a realistic amount of load to the CPU or to control the throughput. So for all these scenarios, we can use the think time. And when we should not use think time. So when we want to do a stress test, and yeah, mainly stress tests are executed to run or to find how many requests per second the application can handle. So in those scenarios, like in stress test, I would say that the think times are unnecessary because you're going to give the stress to the application, like you're going to give more number of requests. And then if the API endpoints that we are testing is having a high amount of requests per second in production that occur without delays, so in those scenarios, we do not want to add delays or the sleeping time. Yeah, so now I will take you through one of the script using the think time. So this is going to be very basic, and then I'll take you through some of the few examples of how to use the sleep, that is the think time, using K6. So the first two lines, which is the import HTTP from K6 HTTP. So this module provides functions for making HTTP requests. And then the second line, which is the check and sleep. So this check function is used for validating the responses, and the sleep is used to pass the execution for a specified duration, that is the think time. And then moving on to the fourth line, which is the export default function. So this is the main function that K6 runs. So it is executed once each virtual user during the test. And then the fifth and the sixth line. So the fifth one, which is the target URL for the HTTPS post request and then the response. So the result of the HTTP post request to the specified URL with the payload, which is hello world. And then we are checking the response in line 7 and 8, where this check function is used to validate the response, and it checks if the response body includes the string hello world. So that's where we add this value, which is r.body dot includes, which is hello world, and then the body contains hello world and false if otherwise if it is not there. And then at the last, like in line number 11, I'm adding a sleep, which is just for 1 second. So this is just to emulate and show you how to use the sleep function. And now I'll save this function and then we will start executing it. So I'll save this file as sleep -101.js. And then let me go back. Yeah, we are already in that line. Yeah, so now let's run this script. So the command is k6 run sleep -01.js. So this will run the script and it will check the condition. Yeah, so here we have got the result with one user, and yeah, the application says hello. The application responds back and it has waited for 1 second and then it sends us the response back. So this is how the sleep works. And now let's see some other examples. So when it comes to the next example, like to make it more complex or to make it more realistic. So the problem with having the 1 second as the sleep time or the think time is it introduces an artificial pattern to the test that may later cause load on our application to be like more predictable. So this will be like, for example, if I'm using like 10 seconds all the time, so it's going to be a predictable amount of think time every time to the system, right? So what in this scenario, like every other tool has this, like JMeter has it, Neoload has it, JMeter has it. Like we have an option to make the think time as dynamic. So what does a dynamic think time does? So a dynamic think time is more realistic and it simulates real users more accurately, in turn improving the accuracy and the reliability of the test results. So for that we can use the random function inside the sleep function. So I will explain you with an example now. So previously we had sleep of 1, and now in the next example where we are going to introduce the dynamic think time, I have sleep of math dot random of the, which is an empty bracket and multiplied to star 5. So what does this function tells us? Like what is the difference between sleep of 1 and sleep of math dot random? So we are making it too dynamic. So what is this math dot random function? So this is actually a JavaScript function which returns a floating point, which is mainly a pseudo random number in the range of 0 or 1, meaning it can be any number from 0 up to but not including 1. So when it's like when you're multiplying by 5, so by multiplying the result of the value, which is like math dot random by 5, the range of the random number is scaled to 0 comma 5. So this means the result can be any number from 0 seconds to just under 5 seconds. So that's the reason we are using this math.random. So this math.random will generate a random number between 0 and 1, and multiplying this number by 5 scales it to a range between 0 and 5. So sleep, we all know it passes the script for this randomly determined amount of time, which will create a sleep duration that can be anywhere between 0 and just under 5 seconds. So now we will try this example. So I have already saved it, and let me run this script. And let's see how much time does it wait this time, because this is going to be random. So this can be any time, any amount of number of time. So now if you see, it is like 1.3. So which is like, it could be a 0 number that has come up. And let's run it again. Yeah, this time again it's 0, and let me run it again. Yeah, so this time it looks like the numbers are like around 1 or 2. So we could see the execution time has crossed like 4.1 seconds. So this is how we can use dynamic think time, because if you see every time we could see the execution time has increased, which is like the think time in between the transaction has increased. Like it's like 4.14, and previously it's 0.06, and then previously it was somewhere around 1.3. So this is what we needed, right? So we want to make dynamic values in between each transactions, right? So this is how the dynamic think time works. And then, so previously we saw sleep of 1, and then we saw the sleep of math.random, and then we will see one more example, one more option, which is random int between 1 to 5, or I can even make it to 1 to 10. So this, yeah, it's very clear. So this will pass for a number of seconds between 1 and 10, which includes both 1 and 10. So it can be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then 10. So any numbers, like starting from 1 to 10. And so, yeah, these are some of the examples. Like these are some of the ways where you can try all these techniques, because I would not say that you have to try everything in. You have to try the same thing in all the examples, all in all the scripts, but they will change for each and every requirement, right? So that's the reason I'm giving you different options or different choices, so that you can try testing it during your testing, during your scripting. So now let me save this, and let's run the script again, and let's see how much random time do we get this time. We'll try our luck. So this time, see, if you see, uh, it's like 0.03 seconds. Let me run it again, and let's see how much time does it gives us. So this time it's like 0.04. Yeah, so even we tried twice, but the response times were less than 1 second, which was not actually expected. The reason here is we have missed to import the random function. So I have this function here. So the function here is the import random int between. So this is the function which we have to call here from the JS library. And this random in between will work only when we import the relevant function. And in fact, yeah, there's one more thing. Like we do not need this when we are using the sleep of math.random. So for this math.random, we do not need this, but for random in between, we definitely need to bring in more library like this, because I mean, again, K6 supports lots and lots of libraries. Again, this is one of the library which K6 supports. Yep. So now we have made the change, and let's run it and see how does it work. How does this random int between help us to, yeah, so yeah, it's very clear. So now the random hint between has clearly worked, and we have got around like 2.3 seconds. And let me run it again and see how much time does it take. The second time it's crossing 3 seconds. Yep, so this works. So the random int between works very clearly. So this is how it works. Yeah, again, I have told you, using this think time, we can control the throughput. We can uh, control the throughput. In terms, we can control the request, and in term we can control the CPU utilization, as I told you in the very beginning. And in fact, I think time has a very long list of usage in terms of a performance testing. You can control the throughput, like I told you, it's a very critical one, and you can keep the system to wait until another action gets completed. So there are like several other advantages, and please make sure very effectively the think time, and also make sure you are using it in between the transactions, so that you can emulate a real time testing in terms of your performance testing. And all the very best. Yeah, with that I come to an end, and we will meet in another interesting video in the next video. Until then, it's bye bye from us, and your favorite Little Star YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, share the video, and join the WhatsApp channel. And also don't forget to join our channel, so that, yeah, you're right, I can bring you more and more quality content. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Bye.